Welcome to the Spirituality Now podcast, a place where spirituality is practical, where we try to focus on spiritual terms, spiritual wisdom, knowledge from our ancestors, all the juicy wisdom of those who many people call the awakened ones, the enlightened ones, just good human beings doing good things for humanity with great core values. For me, that's the highest spirituality there is, and who know who they are. And I think that either if it's spiritually wise, business wise, financially wise, religious wise, health wise, if you don't know who you are, I was going to say a bad word, but I will leave that for other people that curse in their podcast. You will be not futured up. And anyways, so with that said, our podcast is philanthropic. We don't make money out of this podcast. This podcast is all the content is sponsored by the La Flor Teachings International, a company I am the president and founder of, and that specializes in systemic and spiritual coaching and mentorship for individuals, entrepreneurs, corporations, etc., human beings that want to do their inner outer work, get their act together, get the golden nuggets from the past, actualize their present moment, have it fresh, and really design, create, accelerate, and attract brilliant futures for humanity and first of all for themselves. We're also sponsored by Asin Media Authority Syndication Marketing. They are our producers, technically wise, editing wise, image wise. So asinmedia.com, you can check them out if you want to produce your podcast, etc., all the media juicy things. And that's for me. I don't have any announcements because I don't know when this podcast is going to come out. I have my last certification training of transcendental rebirthing happening in August 2022. And you probably are going to listen to this podcast before that happens. And it's the last time I'm going to certify that. And it's the first time I'm going to certify that online. I may do some in the future. This is the core of my work, which is systemic work, healthy bonding and attachment, family constellation, shadow work, shadow integration, getting the golden nuggets of the past, liberation, trauma healing, trauma release, trauma integration, all of that beautiful stuff. We have that certification training for the first time in years online, the full facilitators training, and it's only 12 weeks. It used to be 4 years. And if you are a transcendental rebirthing trainer, that you are either in Holland or in Japan, or, we have people all over in Europe, that it took you 4 years to certify for what is going to happen right now, only in 12 weeks. Anyways, if you are interested, send us an email at support@delaflorteachings.com. We'll get you going. And that's it for my commercials. Anyways, we have a beloved friend of mine, a genius woman, very powerful entrepreneur, mother, teacher, and she's one of the most heart open humans I've ever met. Her heart is in the right place. She has been with us in the podcast before, but you have not heard her podcast published because we couldn't figure out the audio and everything. So we just keep doing it until it works, and we check the microphones and everything. And apparently, we have it all going now. So let me tell you a little bit about her. My beloved guest today and friend is Sanja Telebak Milinkovic. I always like to say Serbian last names because I feel sexy. Milinkovic, who is born in Mostar, lives in Belgrade, and she is a citizen of the world. She's a brave business and spiritual entrepreneur and futuring trainer. She is a certified futuring trainer, and there's only very few in the world. So check her out, and especially if you're in Serbia. She's the initiator of self knowledge and believes in the beauties of nature, philosophy, spirituality, and arts. She's an unstoppable student of life. I can testify to that. And her years of experience working with people and their growth and success inspire her to do even greater things and support others in the process. Sanja is a powerful force, and she uses her positive personality and tireless energy to encourage others to be and live better lives. She's inspired daily by her husband and their two beautiful daughters. And I want to add, she and her family are survivors of war. We'll talk about briefly a little bit about that. She created a school. I think, the people that are the most, that have created the most, that are more knowledgeable that I have met, they brag the least. Uh, they don't tell us what they did, and instead I have sometimes people that I did this and I did that and I did that, blah 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 blah, while in reality they have done just a little, or they're jumping from one thing to another, from one thing to another. But Sanja, I'm going to put you on the spotlight. I want you to brag today. I want you to tell the world, yes, I created a school, yes, I know business, yes, I've modeled, yes, I've done television, yes, I'm hot. I, I want you to go full in, because I am a believer that right now humanity is looking for freedom. Not only freedom of speech, freedom of spiritual beliefs, freedom of actually liberating themselves from all the media pandemias, all our imposed belief systems, and they want freedom. So we got to start with ourselves. So, my beloved Sanja, tell us a little bit about your story. Tell me about, and I know that girl and I love her so much, her 16-year-old that had to be, that was in war. I don't want to say it. I want you to share a little bit of your story. Welcome.
Wow, 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 wow. My heart is really wide opening. Thank you for inviting me first. Thank you for this amazing and brilliant, elevated announcement. You know what is interesting? Today I was found my journeys from that period, from that little girl who has 50 years in 1992 when civil war in Bosnia and Herzegovina in ex-Yugoslavia started. I was born in Mostar, that is beautiful city with old bridge, you know, from old postcards from there. And I read it today. And that girl, I found one notebook before starting the war and few after the war started, and that girl grew up in one night when from the very nervous teenage girl who was angry on her mother and her father because they didn't let her to go outside because she must do homework. She didn't love school so much at that period, and the shift happened when she became a refugee, and the sentences that it was spotlight on that. Sorry, my mother, I am not angry at you anymore. I just want to that you be um, that you be good and that you will survive, because we will separate few months. My me and two of my sisters and my parents. My parents stay behind in that war zone,
What
and
war? What war was it, Sanja? What war?
that
What
was
war? Yes.
that was civil war in 1992 in ex-Yugoslavia. That
Wow.
ex-Yugoslavia, it was something similar to Jinki-2 unity. We have 7 countries in one state, like
Wow.
USA, but seven, only seven. And in 1901, first country split apart from us, and after that the second, and after that we have war that is between people who call each other brothers and sisters before that.
Mm.
And I have him cook bumps. It was really, really uh, stressful, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But I notice something that is similar, that it's same actually, with this girl of 50 years old, and with me, my older old no, mature woman, now
Mm,
of 46, she had a faith,
mm,
and I have a faith, and I never lose my faith. In all that stories that I was writing then, the faith was present, and care about my parents, care about my friends, my relatives, and everyone who was involved in that. And the saddest thing about that is it was a lot of damage in people,
yeah.
in everything. And after 5 years, I think that it was between 3 and 5, I can remember exactly, we all
Mm,
realized that that war was arranged between in one big room between three presidents of that
wow.
countries in that moment, because of power, because of position, and stuff like that. And that is something that shaped my life very, very strongly.
Yeah.
And in that period, I realized that only stuff and things that I learn, nobody can take
Mm,
take from me. And education became that my major goal. I was hungry for education, especially because when I became a refugee, I was living in one small city where I didn't have a choice to choose school that I want. And after that, I didn't have a money to sign up for a college that I want. And it was survivor mode. You know that very
mm.
well because you worked with me during past years.
Yeah, but a lot of people come to me feeling like, oh, I've gone through things, and they keep the victim personality and persona. We're going to talk about it today in the Gene Key that you are going to share with us. But you is you really, it's literally, it's a fact. This is a spiritual fact. You were a victim. All those people were a victim of war, of crimes to humanity. You had to be a refugee. I still have shivers, and I don't know if I ever told you, but when we weren't talking and you were telling me, and I could feel it and hear it. I was working with you. I was hearing the bombs, like the bombs dropping and the explosions of the bombs just at the
Mm,
left of my ear. Oh my gosh. That's the day I was like, wow.
mm,
Some people deserve to say, I'm a victim, I'm a survivor, and I thrive from it. Not a victimization in a way that in the spiritual niche where like, don't be a victim, like, but you truly went through that, love. And it's courageous, it's heroic, just that you are here. I hope people get this because it is. I don't wish any child, any teenager, any young adult or elder to live war. I just don't. And I just can't imagine to have to be a refugee and be separated from your parents because of this situation and the uncertainty. I'm very proud for you. Can I say that on public and on a it's recorded in a podcast, but you have this elegance, Sanja. You rise above. You are one of the people, and I know now a lot of people that have been refugees, and we've been helping a lot of people that are refugees. Well, not a lot, 5 families. Look at my exaggeration skills. But, 5 families, at least we've been able to help them. And some people want to stay with the story of the past. You somehow, the same as Sandra, I just interviewed Sandra, that is in, her podcast is going to come out too, that she's from Serbia. You guys, I don't know if it's because you studied futuring and all the stuff, the gene keys, you moved into the future. So how, Sanya, how from all that very, it's war, is watching people fall apart, is bombing, it's really something that we don't wish for anyone in the world. What was the force? And you said that faith was very important, that you began to realize that people couldn't take away from you what you had learned. What was the beginning of you moving into the future and really thriving from that survival that you had to live?